going to go us through a little tasting of the barrel and walk you through a bit of process. Fred, on you, buddy.
Well, got a good day here. Got a little rain or something here to knock a little chill off. I don't know how much you told them about the warehouses, but this was an old house that was built right after Prohibition. This is one of my great-grandfather's favorite rack houses to age bourbon in. My dad liked it too, the way it was built, facing north and south. So the sun comes up on that side, goes over the roof, sets over there, that way you get even heat. And right here on the side of the hill here, you get good airflow. And this was one of the old favorite houses, the old D warehouse. E was another one run right across the road there that they liked quite a bit. These houses hold about 20,000 barrels roughly. We're about 90%, well over 90% full right now, with over 2 million barrels in storage. That's our biggest constraint right now, is spots to put the barrels to age it. If we can make it today and sell it tomorrow, we'd be a lot better shape. But having aged bourbon, I think it's what makes it. But we can step on in here and kind of check it out. Just to kind of give you an idea. This is an old traditional rack house. The guys put 4 barrels on the elevator here. You can look up, it's 9 floors, exactly like what you see here. Oh my God. And they just put 4 on there, run them up to whatever floor, kick it off, roll the barrels back. When you look at, the way we track them, we got 3 tiers, everyone, we call it the 1 high, 2 high, 3 high. So we can track them, each rick is numbered, so we can actually track where the barrels are. We'll put all the barrels in this row will be of the same production date. So we call that a lot of barrels. Not so much a bunch of them, but a lot is what we make on one day. And we won't put it all in one spot. We scatter it from house to house, because that way, if say we put all our Knob Creek in this warehouse, lightning struck it, you'd lose all your Knob Creek. So we scattered around, put it at different spots, from the top to the bottom. On Knob Creek, Booker's, Baker's, and Basil Hayden, we don't use the entire rack house. We only use 80%. We don't use the bottom 10 or the top 10. The reason being, when the whiskey goes in the barrel, it's 125 proof. That's the legal limit. You put the barrel right down here, over 7 years, roll that barrel out, and just look at the proof alone. It will have dropped to 110 based on the cool, moist area. If it was a hotter day, you could really appreciate how cool it is on this bottom floor. Today, you don't really notice it as much, but when it's about 95 out there and the sun's beating down, it feels like it's air conditioned. And how that happens, during the winter, all this liquid in there gets cold, and it doesn't warm up over the summer. Now we go to the top floor of this house, it's hot as the devil up there. And a barrel on that very top floor will go from 125 up to as high as 140. The moisture will penetrate that wood and bring the strength down. On the top floor, this will be the only chemistry you're going to get out of me today. You got water molecules, you got alcohol molecules inside that barrel. The water molecules are smaller than the alcohol molecules. So over a given period of time, more water will get out of the barrel than alcohol. Hence, that makes the strength go up. Whiskey stored on the top floor of these rack houses gets very hot on the palate. It will light you up. Some at 140 proof plus, it will light your mouth plumb up. So what we do is we take barrels from top, middle, and bottom, bring them together, mingle them together to get a good. Over in the cistern room where we fill them for at least an hour, and if they see a little movement or a little bit of liquid, they'll take pegs and drive in the holes. Sometimes a worm bored into that oak, and there might be just look like a little teeny drill bit went all the way through there. Sometimes they don't pick it up during production. Years ago, we used to have leak hunters. They walked through these warehouses looking for leaks and pegging them. I think they were probably drinking more than they were fixing. Yeah. So I think that job kind of went away. That's on Fridays. I'm sure Friday was a good day. Knowing some of them old dudes that used to do it when I was a kid, I'm sure. I don't think they really stole much whiskey. They drank a world of it, but they didn't. You ain't gonna pick one of these barrels up and carry it out of here. That's for sure. Yeah. But to get us a little drink, we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. We're gonna knock the bung out with the hammer. You got anybody wants to knock the bung out?
Well,
There's the hammer right there. What you want to do, don't hit the bung. Hit on either side. Hard as you want to hit it, it ain't gonna hurt it. And it should pop out. It don't matter, whatever. It's coming. There you go.
So what's this barrel picked out to be? Which product?
I'll look on the end here in a minute and I can see it might be I did see it was 118 proof. We'll get a little more.
2004.
This is the Barrel Select. It was laid down it was here at Claremont in 2004, June the 28th. So this barrel is a little better than 12 years old.
all right. Now,
It's a Jim Beam barrel, actually.
Single barrel cookie.
Thank you.
So is there a method to which barrel, besides just tasting it, which barrels you decide to keep longer than and age longer than others?
Oh yeah, we put stuff on reserve for certain products. You know, like I said, we're gonna do like this one. It was, let's see, where was it? It was on the second floor, so it was just right up here, one floor above us. So you can.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool to actually taste from a barrel in the warehouse. It's something that we kind of do around here for fun, you know. We thought it's kind of cool to bring you guys in here and let you really see, you know, what an aging rack house looks like. We don't heat it, air condition it. If it's raining like it is outside, the humidity's higher. If it's hot and dry, it's drier inside. We try to keep the rain out. But other than that, we don't put any heat in or any coolness. It's all natural.
Do you hope for real fluctuating?
Oh, yes, that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
You know, the hot summers, the liquid expands, goes into the wood. In the winter, when it gets cold, it comes out. We want big fluctuations in temperature. We're only going to use the barrels one time. We get finished with them. We sell them to Scotch distilleries, wineries, Canadian whiskey distilleries, Irish whiskey distilleries. You know, they're all, you know, a lot of them are in our family of products, so they get first crack out of anything left over. Tabasco hot sauce buys a lot of used Jim Beam barrels to age the peppers. They used to use bourbon barrels. Maybe that's why I like Tabasco hot sauce so much. But it's when we get done with them, we're trying to sell them off. It's amazing. They're getting pretty expensive for a used barrel. Craft breweries, they love to get them to put their beer in. So used to, you couldn't hardly give the damn things away. Now everybody wants them for something, you know, furniture or decorations or something. You know,
Even the brewery, beer brewery?
yeah, they like to put their beer in them and do a stouts and stuff. Do them in a bourbon stout, they call them. It gives them a little story to tell. You know, they put it in a used Jim Beam barrel. You know, it's sad, but the story is getting to where it's almost as important as the juice inside of the bottle. People like to hear the stories more than, you know, because a lot of stuff that when you taste it, you go, that's okay. It's got a hell of a story. George Washington peed on his rock. Water runs across that rock, and you know that's why it makes our bourbon so good, or our whiskey, or whatever we're making. But it is kind of a marketing deal, I guess, is a lot of it. You got a good story to tell, that kind of helps sell the brand. We're going to do another little tasting. We're going to sit down over in our Innovation Center and taste several of them. And I'll give y'all some more stories. You can ask questions and do whatever. Have a little fun.
So you guys see the difference between this and what we had on the dump porch.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit difference there.
You don't want it to just go down like water.
right.
But when you get some of those from the very top, they're so damn hot. When you take these and those, put them together, then you come out to a good average. So that's what we do, what we call a vertical cross section. Top, middle, and bottom. Take barrels out of different parts of the house, bring them together, and you get a good composite. Booker's is what we call a horizontal cross section. All comes out of the center.
Jim Beam Black, is that how long is that normally aged?
It's about 6 years.
6.
How long is Booker's aged?
Anywhere from 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Just depends on when I pick the barrels. If it sails well, it tends to get a little younger because we got so many barrels. But, if the sales are not as strong, then it gets a little older. Just by, because I don't have to pick up many batches.
Good, wasn't it?
It's doing very, very well right now, yeah. Almost too good. Right? Well, the latest one is Tugi's Invitation.
I was going to say, I just read that.
And that's a lady up in Bardstown who's a great friend of my mom and dad. She has a restaurant, and she used to travel with mom and dad. Her and her husband and my dad met at boarding school. They were born on the same day, one in Cleveland, Ohio. My dad was born in Springfield. They became great friends, and he married a Bardstown girl, Donald did. And they got to be, they had a little pact where something happened to the other one, they take care of the other one's family. Well, Don came down with pancreatitis and died at 38 years old. And had 5 kids, so my dad kind of was the father figure to all their kids. And so kind of put our two, I was the only child, so really Dad had 6 kids, 7, counting the distillery. Mom always said I was the second child in the house. But they were just great friends and stayed friends up until Dad passed away. And she actually traveled with my mother and Dad when Dad started traveling. I always joke and say it took 2 women to get him to events on time. And it would take 2 of them. And I'd say, come on, now get up. Come on, get up. And they've been lifelong buddies forever. So we thought it'd be kind of cool to do a batch of Bookers with her name on it. We've been naming the batches. Started last year. So
Very cool.
we named one after Tugi. I guess folks that are collectors couldn't really distinguish batch from batch. So they came up with the idea we ought to name them so they could tell one from another. So we had Annis's Answer. My mother's name is Annis. Back in April, it would have been Mom and Dad's 60th wedding anniversary. So we put a diamond ring on the batch of Bookers. And they said, well, do you think your dad did anything romantic for your mother? I said, I will guarantee you no. I said, will you ask her? I said, sure. Mom's 83. And I asked her, you do anything romantic? She said, well, Lord, no. Said he asked me if I'd marry him. When I said yes, that's when he reached in his pocket and pulled out the ring. Most people pull the ring out and say, will you marry me? Old man kept it in his pocket until after she said yes. I guess if she said no, he would have just said, okay. See you later. Take it back, whatever. I'm like, that works. So when I told the girls in our marketing department, they was kind of, what? Really? I said, you didn't know my father. He wasn't a romantic kind of guy. All he worried about was making bourbon and having a good time. He didn't really. But yeah, Mom, she just laughed. I said, you do something romantic? She said, you knew about it. So I want to make sure to ask me to ask him. I thought I knew him pretty well. If he did, it was going to surprise the shit out of me.
I think Robert's batch is next.
Bum, we didn't lose it.
Yeah, that's the first one you ain't lost.
Well, come in here. I got something for you. Got this hammer.
I got rugged.
Hammerhead. No,
I got you.
I like to slip up close enough where you can't get away.
Close. I learned it. Hey guys, we're gonna head up to the GIC. We're doing a tasting up there, and then lunch. Fred's gonna